healing doesn't look like a one-stop destination.
And it's a constant journey.
It is a constant journey. Every single day you're evolving. And so I have to put my tools in place every single day to say, you know what, Vanay, without you doing anything else, adding anything to you, you are enough. And I'm okay in that.
Yeah.
I'm okay in that. I'm even okay in mistakes, what people deem as failures. I'm okay in that too, because I've learned to reframe. If it didn't go the way that I expected, if it was a mistake, it is a teachable moment for me.
Absolutely.
I needed to learn something. I needed to gain something from this experience that I could hold on to and take into another experience.
Absolutely.
I no longer am going to punish myself and allow myself self-induced suffering because of the words that I speak to me. It is only my responsibility to say, I am enough.
I'm enough.
Without doing anything.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast, a spiritual space where we share extraordinary stories from everyday, ordinary people, because we truly believe that inspiration is far greater than influence.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast. I am your host, Jody Shannon, and we are on episode 44. And today I am honored to have an empowerment therapist, Vanay Butler. She's also the founder of the Empower Her Hub. We're talking therapy, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about attachment, and we're talking about boundaries because we all need them. This is Miss Vanay Butler. Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Your speech at the Day of the Lady event, like everyone was just, after you were done, everyone was like, I was like, now she just ate us up like that, left us inspired. Now I'm about to go and just like light up the world because I feel like Superwoman. That speech was just, it really was empowering. It really, I hope they have that on record somewhere. It really was empowering. What made you want to be an empowerment therapist?
I think two things that were kind of already in me from the beginning. I love meeting people. I love talking to people.
Same.
Second, I'm nosy. I've always been nosy,
Really?
even as a little kid. You know how the adults would be like, this grown folk conversation,
Yeah,
like
get
go
out
upstairs.
of it.
I'm like, but I want to be in the room.
I'll just stand
I
in
want
the
to just
corner.
be in the
Listen.
room. And so I noticed those two things about me, but I didn't know how to label that career-wise. And so when people used to ask me, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like when I was in high school and stuff, I'm like, I just want to do something with people.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to talk and I want to make connections and I just want to be with people. It wasn't until, I went into college. Shout out to Michigan State University.
Whoop, whoop.
I went to college and I was there for teaching, actually, because I do love children.
So you wanted to be a teacher initially?
To be a teacher
really?
initially. Yes.
What grade?
I wanted to do elementary, and I'm okay with like first, second, third.
God bless the teachers, because I couldn't.
Yeah. But I started off with being in daycare.
Really?
Since the age of 14. So once I went to college, I said, you know what? I know how to do it. I love children. This is what I'm passionate about. I love teaching. And I got pregnant my sophomore year, going into my junior year at the age of 19. And I found myself experiencing a lot of emotions that I never experienced before. Depression, anxiety. I had PTSD.
Was it from the pregnancy? Was it from the relationship? You're a new mom, a young mom, or was it all the things?
It was all of the above.
I understand.
All of the above.
Yeah.
It was role switching and transitioning. It was, what do I do now? It was uncertainty. It was self-doubt. It was shame and guilt that came from others and placed on me that I walked around with. And so I said, I don't know what I need, but I need something.
Yeah.
I need something.
There's something here.
Yes. And I worked in a student's building, and I was talking to my boss, and she said, you know, they do free therapy upstairs. in the same building that I was in. And I was like, I don't need therapy, girl. I'm okay.
Why do we always
Why
say
do we
that?
do that,
Why
right?
do we do that? Because we be needing it.
Yes. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to check it out. It's free.
Why not?
I'll take the resource.
Absolutely.
I walked into this room and it was a young lady who was African American, and it was a small room. It wasn't nothing really in the room. And she asked me, how was my day? That one question, I started crying. I was like,
yeah.
not you asked me about my day.
And I'm crying. That's how you know you were going through it.
Yes.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been there.
The skill and the gift that was in there is what she was creating, a safe space for me.
And we need that.
And we need
that.
Not only a safe space, but she was creating a space for me without judgment. So I could say what I wanted to say. I can,
you could be vulnerable.
I could be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear, well, why are you, or anything. It was just, it was a softness.
Someone that listens.
Yes. Yeah. Active listening. It was gentleness. And I was like, I don't know what's happening here.
But I need it.
But I need it and I love it. And what she provided for me was partnership. She didn't tell me exactly what to do. She allowed me to process my emotions and tell her what I thought I needed to do. And she cheerled me on. And I said, I want to do
that
for other women who feel alone, who feel stuck, who feels like they can't talk to anybody, that no one can relate to their story, and just create space. The gift of therapy is just safe space.
Yes. And I'm glad that you said that. So is that how you would define therapy? Because sometimes I think a lot of people don't tap into therapy because they just don't have knowledge. So to you, therapy is a safe space for someone that might be battling something to be able to be vulnerable.
Yes. To be able to be vulnerable and to give yourself permission to just speak and be present with yourself.
Yeah.
Therapy allows you to gain a relationship back with yourself.
Boom. That's the best definition. Therapy allows you to regain a relationship with yourself. Because along this human experience, it's so easy to lose yourself. Absolutely. And lose that relationship with yourself. And I'm discovering that now too. I'm like, wow, I like this. I forgot I like this.
Yeah.
But just even sometimes I'm in the car listening to my tunes. I'm like, I'm actually really fun.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't me, I'd want to hang out with me.
Yes.
And I love that I am just walking in that fully.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And therapy is about rediscovering you. It's just rediscovering. It's like, let's push these experiences, let's push these narratives, let's push other people's perceptions, and let's get back at the core of me.
Yeah.
Like, what does she look like?
Yeah. Remembering who
you are. Getting back into doing childlike things that you did as a child. And you're like, I still like that. You know? And it's so, important. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I want to help other women and help partner with them. And I want to be a cheerleader for them.
Women, yeah.
And then the teacher part of it all is I want to help educate women about what's going on within them, that we don't always have the words to label our experience, to label our words. And I'm like, man, the understanding is everything. The understanding is everything. I knew how I felt, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. I didn't know exactly what it stemmed from, and I didn't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
And therapy helps you with that.
And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with, is you don't know what to do about all these feelings. Especially, you mentioned having a baby and how you busted out crying. I remember being maybe 7 months pregnant, and someone was like, oh my God, you look so pretty. And she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, and I literally just busted out crying. Yeah. Because I was going through such a difficult experience. I really and I'm having a baby. My life's changing. I mean, I was 27. I was grown. But even like, my mom was like, Jody, you have to eat. I'm like, do I? She's like, you have to eat. And I think it's important to have a safe space. Because a lot of people don't have a safe space.
Yes. Especially, like, I know in a lot of African American households, everything is hush hush. You keep it to yourself. You keep it sweep here. You sweep it under the rug. And it's like, but I keep getting triggered. Yeah. And I still feel the same way. Yeah. So
I'm dying on the inside. Yeah, like, I am depressed.
What am I doing with this? And therapy gives you a play-by-play on this is what we can do. And if you ever feel lost in that, I'm here to partner with you.
Absolutely.
I'm here to partner with you. So that's why I became an empowerment therapist.
I love that. And for me, therapy has been beneficial because, sometimes we don't want to tell people our business because we don't want to be judged.
Yeah.
Child, you can literally lay on the therapist couch,
And do
tell them
whatever.
all your business. They can't tell your business, but
Yep.
it feels good to release it.
Yes.
And a lot of people are so angry and anxious and depressed because they haven't had that release. And a lot of us don't have safe spaces. Sometimes you're around the wrong friends, you're around the wrong people, and you just don't. Being vulnerable is even hard for me.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best? Because I think everyone kind of, especially in our generation, like, we have social media. A lot of people don't like to be vulnerable. How can people become more vulnerable?
Ooh, that's such a good question, because vulnerability is a challenge, but it's also a gift.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
But it's also a skill that we must practice and learn. Going back to your question, so what we could do with vulnerability is we first need to have acceptance. We need to have acceptance about ourselves and where we are. That allows the vulnerability to say, this is okay, to show up here. If the vulnerability doesn't like showing up when we feel like this isn't safe.
Yeah.
This isn't something I should be doing. We usually protect vulnerability. But if you have acceptance over, this is who I am, this is where I am in this season, and I'm okay with it, it allows vulnerability to say, it's okay to be here.
Yeah.
And I can show up in this space.
In that space. That's beautifully put. Because I know I still work on my vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be around the right people that you can be vulnerable with. And I think sometimes you just don't feel like you have that. You got to have at least one person where you could show up fully as yourself, be present, and just be like, oh my God, I feel like this. Without judgment. And I feel like a therapist is just that. And at least have one friend.
Yeah,
I do believe that.
You definitely have to have a trusted individual who makes space for you. Sometimes we don't always need a solution. We just need space.
That's it.
To be able to say what we need to say. And so we have to begin to trust ourselves when the vulnerability comes up. To say, I can manage this. I'm okay in this. It gives me discomfort, but I can manage the discomfort, and I'm okay with speaking my truth.
Yeah, it's that self-talk.
Yes.
It's that positive self-talk.
Absolutely.
I always say good thoughts feel good.
Yeah.
And I always try to think that. I'm like, oh, why are you thinking like that? Ooh, negative thoughts don't feel good.
Yeah.
It's that self-talk and remembering, like, you could speak life back into yourself. Absolutely. You have the power to do that.
Yes.
You have the power to do that.
And that's where our personal power is. It's in the way we talk to ourselves.
Yes.
Which makes up our relationship with ourselves.
Absolutely.
And typically the negative self-talk is not our own. It is from past experiences of what other people have said to us or about us, or what society has placed on us that now becomes ingrained in here.
Yeah, and it's coming to the surface. Yeah. And that's why you have to go to therapy to dig up what that is. Because a lot of stuff is deep rooted.
Oh, yes.
It's so deep rooted. And you got to literally pull it out and pluck it by the roots so you could be a healthy being.
Absolutely.
A healthy being. At Day of a Lady, a lot of your speech was geared towards being enough. And I think that's what made the speech so powerful, because sometimes we think we're not enough. Yeah. How do you define enough?
Ooh, enoughness for me is having satisfaction in my humanness. That's it. Not me performing, not me doing more, not me saying more. It's just allowing myself to be with me and find gratitude and peace in that.
In that moment?
In that moment.
When did you realize that you were enough?
Oh, girl, now that's a daily.
'Cause listen,
I think that is a daily practice, because as a therapist, I too have negative narratives that, or negative self-talk that don't belong to me.
Yeah.
Right? And so healing doesn't look like a one-stop destination.
And it's a constant journey.
It is a constant journey. Every single day you're evolving. And so I have to put my tools in place every single day to say, you know what, Vanay, without you doing anything else, adding anything to you, you are enough. And I'm okay in that.
Yeah.
I'm okay in that. I'm even okay in mistakes, what people deem as failures. I'm okay in that too, because I've learned to reframe. If it didn't go the way that I expected, if it was a mistake, it is a teachable moment for me.
Absolutely.
I needed to learn something. I needed to gain something from this experience that I could hold on to and take into another experience.
Absolutely.
I no longer am going to punish myself and allow myself self-induced suffering because of the words that I speak to me. It is only my responsibility to say, I am enough.
I'm enough.
Without doing anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enough. How do you think people could discover their enoughness? Because I know there's going to be some people watching this. There's going to be some people listening to this, and they feel like they're not enough. Especially a lot of women, they might be pregnant, suffering from postpartum, might be going through a divorce, might, be a widow, or even men too, going through so many challenges in life. And then you go on social media, you see your old classmates, they're doing great. Their businesses are successful. They're rich now. They have 2.5 kids. And it's like, ooh, you look at that and you see the space you're in. And then social media will make you feel like you are not enough. Yeah.
Yes.
How do you discover your enoughness?
Yeah, I think I would define one. How am I even interpreting enoughness?
Yeah.
Because am I saying enoughness is a status?
A lot of people are nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of people are.
If it's anything outside of you, it is not enoughness. You're enough.
If it's anything outside of you, it's not enoughness. Boom.
Yeah. It's everything inside that no one can give to you. You can't go out and buy it. It's inherently yours, and that's it. So think about the way that you're defining enoughness. And if you got to work towards it, then, or perform towards it, that's not enoughness.
Yeah.
Enoughness is just the value of your being, your existence, your humanness, and you just being a human being. That's it.
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough. I think for me, enoughness is recognizing your identity in God. And I think what helps me realize like I'm enough is like God knew me before I knew myself.
Absolutely.
God knows every hair on my head. God wants me to be present in myself. And for the fact that I'm even here, that's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
And I love that you take it back to God, because God has given us the gift of even having breath in our body.
Yes.
And he knows us way better than we know ourselves.
Yes.
And if we can take off our lens and put on his lens,
game changer.
Game changer.
Game changer. And that's why I'm so adamant about reading my word, because the more I read my word, then I can understand who I am in God. It's like sometimes I don't even want to listen to who I say I am. Who does God say that I am?
Absolutely.
And that is enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And God doesn't say, when you buy this, you'll be enough.
Yeah.
When I give you this, you'll be enough. You are already enough when he said life.
Yeah.
And you came into the world.
You were born enough.
That was it.
Yeah.
Why do we keep trying to add to that? We don't have to keep adding. The gift was you being here.
Absolutely.
That is enough.
Yeah. And it's nothing external. And I think just the generation that we live in, everything is so external.
Absolutely.
And everyone just wants to look perfect, but no one wants to live purposefully.
Yeah.
And I think when you look externally, you forget that everything's already internal. You don't have to find anything.
No.
You don't have to find yourself. You don't have to find God. You just need to realize it's there.
You need to read.
You need to rediscover. Perfect way to put it. You need to rediscover.
Get back to the basics.
Absolutely. And that's how, for me, that's been my biggest blessing these last 2 years, is just really rediscovering who I am. But in doing that, I've rediscovered who God was.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I grew up in the church. Now I'm like, oh, I actually have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Like, God, you've been showing up. God's like, girl, here you go.
Here. Yeah.
I've been here. Here she go, y'all. He talking to the angels like, here she go. Here she go. Just entertain her for a little bit, because here she go acting like I was lost whole time. God's like, I'm just waiting on you.
I was waiting on you.
Yeah.
And the reason why both of them are probably intertwined is because God is you.
Boom.
He already here.
Yeah.
You know, so of course, as you're finding yourself, you're going to find him because he is right
He's
there.
already
He
there.
already there.
His breath is in your body. In Genesis, it says
Absolutely.
God breathes
Breathe
breath
life into you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think focusing on the God man, that really helps you be a human.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's been guiding me. So when I was looking up the Empower Her Hub, okay, because I do feel empowered by the content you create. And I think we have to be intentional with the content that we put out, because you could either be a light or you could be contributing to darkness in the world. And I will say you definitely contribute to light. So
Thank you.
I'll give you your flowers on that. But the slogan for the Empower Her Hub is take off the cape and put you first. And what steps can someone take to truly put themselves first?
Okay, let's go back to taking off the cape first, because I think
how you take off the cape.
Woo, I think, especially us as African American women, we've learned to be strong and resilient, and to do and to be for everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'll speak for myself personally. That's what I saw. I grew up around very strong women. They get the job done, baby.
Every
you
time.
say you need something, it's done. You don't have to ask again. Like, it is just going to be done.
Yeah.
And we learn from that. But we also learn that it's not okay to ask for help. We also learn to take on the burdens and the emotions of everybody else. We also learned that it's my responsibility to take care of everybody else, where I couldn't navigate really on how we were supposed to prioritize. If I'm taking care of everybody and I'm doing everything,
when do I get time for me?
And so it felt guilty. It felt
taking time for yourself.
Taking time for myself felt guilty. Even I have 4 babies.
You're good.
Thank you so much, girl. Thank you.
Okay. Side note.
But when I would get tired and I wanted to lay down for a nap, I felt so guilty. It was like my body would not allow me. I would go to sleep for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. I'd be right back up like, where my to-do list? What do you need? Going right back out to the living room where everybody is. What do y'all need? And so I had to realize that this is hurting me. Me being Superwoman.
Yeah, because you're pouring out, and then it's like, who's pouring in?
Yeah, and I'm creating the illusion of perfectionism. And I wasn't allowing me to be me. I was hiding, because if they saw me being weak, then what does that tell them?
Yeah.
If they saw me having a bad day, so I had to keep it all together all the time. That's exhausting.
Very.
That's draining.
That's why you're tired.
Yes, that's why I'm tired.
Because it's performative.
Always performative. And it doesn't allow my authentic self to show up. I'm not teaching my kids what it is to have a bad day or to be upset, which are all regular and healthy emotions and experiences to have.
Absolutely.
But they never saw that. They was like, oh, mama don't get tired. Guess what? And guess what they keep doing? Hands out.
Yeah.
More hands out. More hands out. More hands out. And I was like, when does it stop?
Sick of it.
I'm tired.
And a lot of people feel like that. Between working or being a mom, being a wife, you have so many different titles.
Yes. And you play so many roles.
Yeah.
And you know us, we got to do it well.
Yeah, very well.
Excellence. We have to
Every
do it
time.
well. And so I like the taking off the cape for Empower Her, is because, one, you give yourself permission to be human.
Yeah.
And then 2, you give yourself permission just to be you, without any guilt, without any shame. And the second part of that is Empower Her is an acronym for heal, empower, and restore. I want women to understand that it is okay to heal. It is okay to empower yourself, and it is okay to come back in restoration with you, which is the rediscovering part. So that's why I thought it was really important, because I really want to talk to the strong women out there, ladies. Hey, y'all, which is most of us. And I want you to know that there's a space for you where you don't have to be strong all the time, and you don't have to be weak either. You could just be.
You could just be.
You could just be.
And that's the thing, though. I'll speak for myself, okay? I ain't trying to judge anyone, or, sometimes we don't want to live in that truth. We just don't want to be. we don't want to sit with it. Whatever that being is, sometimes we don't want to sit with it. So that's why we're always constantly moving. Because there's so much going on in the mind. Whenever you're still, you got to sit with some stuff. You got to, some stuff starts to come up that you got to heal. You know, and sometimes some people like to be busy, always like to be doing something because they don't want to sit with whatever it is. And then a lot of times, like you said, that's all they know. They don't know. There's no time for themselves.
None. And doing this is really just anxiety. Doing this is anxiety. I have to do something about this. It's really the worry behind if I don't do this. So
what's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Who's going to do it? So it's really anxiety that's showing up as doing this. Okay. And then we want to be careful with the doingness of it all because it's really not our authentic self and we're really doing things out of anxiety.
Often, very often. What advice would you give to someone that's going to listen to this and watch this? Like, what advice would you give to them to get out of that doingness?
I would say create space, and I'll give you guys an example too. Give space for you to just be by yourself. And that's the point that I was going to make before. Being still. We have to recognize when we're in this state of doing this, what internal message is that saying back to self? One, that I'm not valuable enough to sit with me. Two, my feelings are not valuable to just sit with me and for me to resolve and process them. So we got to think about the messages because it is sending internal messages back to our inner self, right? But you want to be able to give yourself space to be. One thing that I've started doing, I'll say within the last 3 to 4 years, because like I said, I have 4 kids. I wake up an hour or hour and a half before my children.
That's important.
Because you know how it is when we get in the midst of beautiful chaos. That's what I call my children. Beautiful chaos.
Listen. Broke best friend.
Broke best friend.
Now I'm calling my son my rich best friend.
Let's speak life into you. Manifest that. But when we get into the routine of things, we get lost in it. And so I have to wake up an hour before my kids. The first thing I do when I wake up, I'm in gratitude. Thank you.
Giving thanks
to God because I don't have to be up. Somebody didn't wake up today and have breath in my body. Not only that, I don't need assistance to move and walk around and see. So thank you, God, for that.
That's a real blessing. It's never things. It's never cars. It's never houses. I could literally blink my eyes and I could see.
Yes, it's my 5 senses.
I have 5 senses. I could enjoy my food. So I get into the state of gratitude because the state of gratitude always pushes me into positivity. And it reframes anything negative or anything that I might have been worrying about. After that, I get into devotion or I read something inspirational or something that's going to uplift me. After that, I work out. I don't like working out. Let me say that. I don't like working out, but I will work out. The reason why I work out is because I like to push myself. And I like to say I have a goal and I met the goal. And I like the way I feel about myself. It kind of like expands my resiliency in a way. I like the way I feel once I push myself and I'm like, I did that. I did that. And when you start seeing some results, it's like,
baby, you can't
I got to go back to the gym now.
Yes, I got to go back. So it really pushes me. And the next thing I do, and I got this from Mel Robbins. That's my girl, Mel Robbins. I don't know if you guys.
Mel Robbins.
Yes. She has a podcast, y'all. If y'all haven't heard of her, look her up on YouTube. You'll find all her gems.
And uplifting.
She has this high five method. I go into the mirror and I look at myself without no makeup on, with my hair still wrapped up, baby. And I high five myself because high five is represented behind celebration. And you cannot think anything negatively about yourself while you're high fiving yourself. You cannot look in the mirror and be in a frown and high five yourself. It's just not possible. I tried it because I was like, girl,
let me see if it really works.
That don't work. And I started doing it, and I feel so good about myself.
Is it just like you're looking in the mirror and you're like, you got this,
girl.
Okay.
Go ahead, girl. Keep going. And I get started with my day. And then once my kids wake up, I make sure that they don't come see me until they absolutely need to see me. So make sure that your teeth are brushed, face washed, get dressed, do all the things because I need you to be responsible for you. And then the things that I know you cannot do. Now I'm here. But I'm dressed. I've already poured into me. I done worked out. I forgot to say I also pour myself a cup of water. So I put my nutrients in there, my vitamins in there.
Responsible.
Yes.
She is responsible.
I needed to learn self-responsibility.
Absolutely. We're aligned.
Yes.
We're aligned with this. We're aligned.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to keep myself accountable and I have to be responsible for self. And how am I teaching other people to do that and I'm not doing it for myself?
And I love that you say that, because a lot of times, like, we expect people to show up for us, but sometimes we don't show up for ourselves. Yes. And that's why it's important to take that time. I do the same, reading my word, waking up before my son, taking my CMOS, taking my vitamins, but it shifts my day. I literally feel better that I show up for myself.
Yes.
And I think about the times when I didn't do these things, how sluggish I felt, how down. It's like it keeps you in a state of depression when you don't do these things.
You're impatient.
Yes.
Well, I'm impatient. I won't speak for you. I'm impatient.
I was as well.
I have a low tolerance. I don't want to hear it. I'm more anxious because I did not pour into me. Now, I might not always get the cup full and overflowing the way that I would like to, but at least I poured something in there. So when my kids come to me, I'm like, how was your night?
Yeah.
I have more patience. I have more tolerance.
You're not irritable.
I'm not irritable. I can do my things with them, knowing I poured into my children. And
absolutely.
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
You know? So the beautiful chaos it just turns into beautiful moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you took the time. And I know you have to be intentional about taking time for yourself.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it will mean waking up an hour early. You might be tired, but it will benefit you so much.
So much.
Keep a schedule for yourself. Because I notice sometimes when people are irritable, I'm like, do you need a moment?
Yes.
Okay, you need a moment.
Yes.
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's because people are not taking the time. And time is just so valuable. But I've noticed that that's a tip in the trick. That's a game changer right there. That was free therapy.
Yeah.
Okay? That was free therapy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Because all those things that I mentioned is getting back in relationship with me. It's saying to myself, I'm important enough.
Yeah.
I'm valuable enough to do these things for me first.
Yeah. And not expecting anyone to do it for you. And I love that you mentioned high-fiving yourself, because recently I made a video, because it's like, you know, you're doing so many things and you're like, oh, people don't support me. I used to always say that. I'm like, people just don't support me. Why are they not supporting me? And then I had to check myself. I'm like, you are pouring so much energy into thinking who doesn't support you, who doesn't show up for you. All you could do is focus on showing up for yourself. Yes. All of that is wasted energy. You're so upset about who's not showing up for you. You're so upset, like, hey, they didn't come to this, or they didn't do that, they didn't repost this, or they didn't buy from my business. That's all energy that you could put into yourself, to pour into yourself. Because listen, sometimes people are not going to show up for you. You just have to make the effort to always show up for yourself. And when God has called you to do something and to be something, God's showing up for you. And that's the best person that could show up for you. And I see it all the time, like, well, people don't buy from my business. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And you have to sit with that and be okay with it. But as long as you are showing up for yourself every day.
Absolutely.
And that's what you just demonstrated.
The self-responsibility and self-accountability.
It's important.
It's so important.
It's so important.
So important, because you want other people to do for you, but what are you doing for yourself?
For yourself. And a lot of times people that are sitting and complaining and they don't do this and they don't do that, all you're doing is complaining. You're literally sitting in this negative energy, and you're going to continue to attract people that don't support you.
Yes.
You know, because the energy you put out comes back to you
Absolutely.
like a boomerang. And I have noticed that with myself. I was like, shift your energy. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Even if it's your parents, don't worry about it. Your friends, your closest friends, you expect people to show up for you like you show up for them.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, because we do have an expectation.
Oh yeah. Girl, I know people. I did.
I know I do. Yes, but the expectation will set us up for disappointment.
Yeah, and that's what's hurting us, is the expectation leads to disappointment.
Yes, every time.
Yeah.
Every time, because it's not going to look the way we want it to look. Detach from that.
Ooh, and I'm glad that you brought it to detachment, because you have an event coming up on April the 26th.
Yes.
And it is it love? What is it? Love, attachment, and the mess in between.
Yes.
And I want to talk about that, because honey, Okay, so let's get into that because that's heavy.
Okay.
Because I do believe that a lot of people have a certain attachment style,
Oh yes.
and I mean, it's just human to have
Yes.
just like, for example, I think sometimes when we love, we want to possess that person that we
Yes,
love,
yes,
right? Instead of
yes.
experiencing that person.
Yes.
And I'll speak for myself, but when you're so in love, you kind of sometimes lose yourself, especially as women, kind of going back to what you referenced, like always doing so much for people, but you want to possess the person instead of experiencing them. And in the book, it's called The Mastery of Love. And he talks about someone, like, you meet someone, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna give you all my love. This is all my love. You can have it. You can keep it. Oh my gosh, you just make me so happy. So someone's trying to hold up all the love, and you're like, oh my God, if I don't hold up her love or his love, they're not gonna be happy. So I gotta make sure I hold on to it because I'm the person that makes them happy. I'm the person that's making them smile. And that's too much weight for someone to carry. So eventually they're like, I cannot make this person happy and myself happy. So they end up dropping all of the love that you've given them because you're just so attached to that person, and your identity's in that person, that you don't know how to be outside of it. That's why so many breakups are
devastating. Yes.
So what can you tell us about these attachment styles?
Okay.
Honey,
I'll make it brief about attachment styles. That's a whole nother
you got to go to the event to get the full. April 26th. I'll put it in the podcast description so we can discuss this in detail.
Yes. So there's 4 types of attachment styles. There's secure attachment, there's anxious attachment, there's avoidant attachment, and there's disorganized attachment. All come from our attachment with our caregivers from childhood. Okay, so we usually respond and have relationships with other people based on how our caretakers responded and had relationship with us. So this workshop, I love that we're going to be talking about this topic because I feel like this is something that we all experience.
Absolutely.
This workshop is really going to be honing in on you identifying what your attachment style is. So you can understand why you show up in the way that you show up. Because most of our behavior is modeled before us, right? Or we learn it from our caregivers. And then it's going to show up in your relationships. And why does it show up most in our intimate relationships? Because we spend the most time with them.
Yeah, of course.
So it shows up in our intimate relationships, and sometimes we get lost in the sauce and we forget ourselves, like you mentioned. And so what this workshop will be doing is identifying the attachment style. And if there's some things that you don't like about this attachment style, the great thing is you can always transition back to a secure attachment, which is the healthiest attachment form, where it's an interdependent relationship where 2 individuals are coming up and showing up whole, and they're supporting each other.
The whole part.
Whole.
The whole.
WHOLE.
Yes.
Whole. Yeah.
You have to show up whole.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are showing up broken.
Yes. And we're trying to fix our partners instead of fixing ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're trying to do everything for them, and we place them on this pedestal. And when the expectation is all the way up there and they show that they're a human and they have human tendencies and traits, it's devastating because, like, you're not what I thought you were.
Devastating. Yeah.
So that's why grief is so difficult when we're breaking up in a relationship, is because we're really breaking up with the attachment. And we're grieving with the loss of the expectation.
Back to the expectation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I have to ask myself, what was the value that I placed on this person? Because that will determine how big the grief is.
Yeah. And a lot of times it can be very big because that person, you make them your whole life.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you stop going to the gym. Now you're calling out of work because you want to hang out with Craig. Craig calling out of work because he want to hang out with you. And I think it goes back to what you referenced in not being whole. And when you're not whole, you're a fraction of yourself. So you're looking for someone else to fill you up. So you're looking for them to show up for you because you're not showing up for yourself.
Absolutely. It's unmet needs combined with unmet needs. And it's like, who's taking care of the needs?
Yeah.
No one else can take care of your needs better than you.
Absolutely.
No one.
Absolutely.
It feels good, but it's temporary and it will not last long because you'll be right back out with your hand What I want more. See me more. Spend more time with me. Let's do this more, and you need to fulfill your own needs. You need to allow God to help you fulfill your own needs.
Yes.
Because that is where the true fulfillment and joy is when you're able to take care of yourself.
And I think that's when a relationship is really healthy.
Yes.
When you guys are both taking care of your own needs. So when you guys actually do get together, we're just having fun.
Yes.
We are enjoying. Of course, there's going to be difficulties such as life.
Of course,
but we are not cutting each other. We're not hurting each other. We're literally enjoying one another.
Yes. You are not playing a role.
You're not.
Yeah. And you don't have responsibility.
Yeah. It's too heavy to hold.
It's too heavy. And honestly, I don't want it.
No,
Mine is too heavy to hold.
Yeah.
So I don't want your stuff too.
I would rather be single. If I am the only thing that makes you happy, I don't want it.
I don't want that.
I don't want it.
It's too much responsibility.
Because it's a lot of work making your own self happy. To have that title, like, oh my God, you make me so happy. In that book, Mastery of Love, I'm like, ooh, that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. As far as, because I know you mentioned secure attachment being the healthiest form.
Yes.
How do we get to secure attachment?
We get to secure attachment by going back to what we were stating in the beginning, is being in a good relationship with yourself. And knowing what your unmet needs are, and being able to provide those for yourself, making sure you have a good relationship with yourself. And making sure, lastly, is that you have healthy communication. And once you're able to have healthy communication, you'll be able to resolve disagreements and conflicts and things like that. Embrace those moments, because those are usually strengthening moments. Those are usually your growth moments in a relationship. If you ask me if I were single, like, I would want my arguments to be upfront, because, baby, I need to know how you gonna act
when we're
in the beginning, so I can know if there's any red flags here, and if this is something that I don't want to deal with right now. So embrace those moments so that you can see how they show up and see how you show up and how you guys can work together if that's what the situation is causing. But yeah, I think with you being in good relationship with yourself, you're meeting your own needs. You have your own individual self and life outside of this person. You're able to communicate your needs and your wants with boundaries very well. You can move into secure attachment, because secure attachment isn't really attachment.
That's the key. It's not
attachment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is actually practicing detachment with acceptance and just allowing people to be and allowing yourself to be in a relationship.
That's it. And I think it's experiencing that person.
Absolutely.
And not try to possess them.
Not trying to control
Experiencing someone is so much more fun, because you allow them a safe space to show up as themselves, and you allow yourself to show up as yourself and be present and be full, instead of like, what are you doing? Where are you going? If you worried about your own business and your own happiness, like, hey, I'm doing this, but we have this time to link up with each other. And I'm looking forward to a healthy relationship like that for myself.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. And I will start with detachment.
Yeah. And I think one thing I know I got to work on personally, and I don't know if anyone else has to work on it, is communication.
Okay.
Because I try not to be into the signs, but I'm a Cancer.
Girl. I'm a Cancer. Yes.
And I can go back into my show.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I'm never talking to that person again. When I was young, I used to change my number all the time. And we will never speak again. And I will walk past you like we never even knew each other. And that is horrible.
Yes.
That's horrible. I remember my first love, like, I literally just disappeared, moved to a new city, never spoke to him again. And when we did finally connect again, he's like, that really hurt me. Like, could you just not say, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore? Or he's like, I didn't even know what I did. And I'm like, ooh, I got to work on that. And when I went into therapy, my therapist was like, she was like, I know that we live in a culture of ghosting. Like, oh, I ghosted them.
Yeah.
But someone else's child is on that other line. And a lot of times people don't know what they did to you because you didn't express it. So you didn't give them the opportunity to, oh my God, you took it that way. I didn't know that you would take it that way.
Yes.
So I'm working on not being a runner.
Okay.
I can acknowledge that, honestly.
Yes.
Truly.
Yes.
I'm working on that.
And I think your awareness around that is everything.
Yeah.
That is where the healing is going to come from.
Yeah.
The awareness and the understanding.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to being vulnerable too, because in being more open with communication, I do want to feel like it's received.
Absolutely. And you want to feel, because the only reason why we run, because I used to be a runner too. I'm a runner. I'm a track star now. Is because that is the way I protect myself.
Exactly.
You
go back in that
and
bubble.
I go back in my shell because I'm safe in this shell.
Yeah.
Nobody can get to me in this shell.
I won't be hurt.
I won't be hurt in this shell. And so the shell is my safe space where we need to be able to create emotional safety within ourselves, where anywhere we are can be a safe space, because I trust me.
My emotional safety for yourself, girl. That just resting, that blessed me. Yeah, emotional safety for myself.
Yeah, that means if I'm experiencing any uncomfortable feelings or feelings that bring me discomfort or challenge my vulnerability, I can manage it. And I can say, I'm safe with this. I'm okay in this. And acknowledge, this is making me very uncomfortable, but I'm going to stay with it. And I'm okay because I am in charge. I have responsibility over my safety.
Absolutely.
Not anything else.
Yeah.
Me. And I could regulate this from here on out. I'm no longer afraid of it. I embrace it. And I say, what is it here for?
Yeah.
How can I acknowledge it?
What is it here for? And I think a lot of times we try to get out of situations like, oh God, I got myself into this. Get me out. Please get me out. But sometimes you really do have to ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn here?
Yes.
What is this discomfort that I'm feeling? What can I learn from it? How can I embrace it? And it goes back to that self-talk. Sometimes you have to talk yourself through it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you have to recognize that emotions are just indicators.
Okay.
That's it. It's just indicating that something is coming up for me.
Yeah.
What is it and why?
Why?
Once you have the understanding of what it is and why, I can move past. The emotion
it.
Can go past because it serves no purpose anymore.
Yeah.
Once the emotion serves no purpose, it can move on.
Once you've actually acknowledged it and accepted it.
Yes, but if I dismiss it, if I avoid it, guess what? That emotion still has purpose there because you still didn't get the lesson.
Yeah.
It still needs to indicate something.
I'm guilty of that. I'm so guilty because I hate the discomfort. So I'd rather just run from this situation because I don't like how it feels. Don't like it. Yeah.
Embrace it.
In my big age of 37.
It's okay. All of us.
Every day.
Us.
Yeah.
Every single day is everyday practice. Even me as a therapist, I can be very, as a Cancer, I'm very passionate.
Same.
About what I'm saying now. And I'm very passionate about how I'm feeling. And so I need to regulate myself because every situation doesn't always need a response. Doesn't always need me to be reactive. And if I am being responsive, I need to be responsive in a way where it's healthy. And I'm communicating myself in a healthy way, not reactive. Because most of the time I am reactive.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I feel this, that mean that this. Yeah. So I can be very passionate. So I have to cool her down. Like, baby, this is not a life-threatening situation.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all of that. It's not required.
Rest a little bit.
It's not required.
Yeah.
And I have to tell myself.
That response is not required.
It's not required. That's emotional safety.
Yeah.
That response is not required. Sit back.
Yeah.
Talk. Express.
Walk yourself through
it. Baby, it's okay to talk to yourself. Talk to
you
yourself.
Have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to sleep on it. And instead of like, it's like you see a message, you're like, especially when it comes around, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait to respond to that. Because sometimes you just have to be able to sit back and reflect before you respond. Because a person that can't manage their emotions is dangerous.
Say that again.
Anyone that cannot manage their emotions is dangerous. Whether you're a male or female. Anyone that just cussing people out, slashing your tires, going off at people, unpredictable. That's a dangerous person to be around. Not only will they hurt themselves, but they'll also hurt you. Yeah. And we see it all the time. I hate that I love these shows, but on For My Man and on what is it called? TV One, like those crime shows.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are in prison because they could not manage. They were reactive. And you have to have that self-talk.
You have to be able to check yourself.
Yes.
Check yourself. Get back to the
Before you wreck
self-responsibility.
yourself.
Yeah, get back to the self-responsibility. How am I showing up? And does this even resonate with my core values?
Yeah.
Where's my moral
Value.
compass?
Exactly.
Am I even operating in that? Or do I have emotion in front seat, driver's seat? No, ma'am.
No, yeah. And are you operating at your highest being?
Yeah.
Are you low vibrational or are you high vibrational? Because sometimes some of those responses is so low vibrational, like you did not need to say that.
Yep.
Michelle Obama says when they go low, we go high. And here you are. I have a friend, she's like, Jody, they go low, I'm going to hell. I'll let you know now. I said, well, let's just calm down a little bit. She's like, no, Jody, I'm going to hell. And she will.
Yeah.
She will. But it's like after you do all that, you feel horrible.
Yeah, you have
regret.
regret.
You feel ugly on the inside. You feel nasty. And it is really just stepping back from
Absolutely.
yourself. Yeah.
So that's tool number 1. Exactly what you said, Jody. If you feel like you are reactive, you need to take a step back from the situation and pause. I always like to pause for at least 4 to 7 seconds
before I
respond. And it's okay, people just looking at you waiting for your response. Collect yourself.
Yeah.
Gather
you want
yourself.
Me to collect myself.
You want me to collect myself because I'm about to say something else.
Give
now,
me a second.
It allows the Holy Spirit to come on in. It allows your moral compass to work, and it allows you to be more rational.
The Holy Spirit to come on in. And I constantly have to remind myself, you are, like when I'm in trying situations, I'm like, okay, you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and what you're feeling right now is a part of being in that human experience. That's why you're sad. That's why you're anxious. Or this is why you feel uncomfortable. This is what humans feel. Yes. But you got to remember, you are a spirit being. How can you show up more so in that spirit being rather than in myself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Show up as your highest self. And if you cannot do that, which there will be situations where you won't be able to do that, walk away.
Yeah.
Got to
walk away. Got to walk away.
Yeah.
Because I know you'll be discussing this on April 26th at her event, Love, Attachment, and the Mess in Between. I think you're going to be talking about boundaries, right?
Yes.
And what are, in relationship, not just romantic relationships, but also friendships, why do you think it's important to establish boundaries?
Yes. I think going back to personal responsibility, boundaries are for you. They can be and beneficial for the other person, but boundaries are really for you. It is saying I have integrity to what I want for myself, what I will tolerate and what I won't tolerate.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you think of yourself like a country or a state, there's rules, there's regulations, there's policies and all of that. Or if you even think about a business, they have protocol, they have policies put in place. Why don't we have that for ourselves? Where are your policies and procedures? Yeah. You need to let people know what the expectation is when it comes to yourself. Now, the reason why I say boundaries are more for you and not the other person, because you can't do nothing once the boundary is already out. They're going to respond to the boundary how they want to respond. And after that, you can't control that. Yeah. The only thing you can control is if they violate the boundary, you can say, I don't have to deal with this. And I can walk away. It always goes back to you. What are you going to do when they don't respect the boundary? You could walk away, but you have the power to decide.
Absolutely,
you are your own little territory,
and you're your own advocate,
and your own advocate. And so you have to express what are going to be the things you tolerate and what are going to be the things that you don't tolerate, and express that to people, because you stay true to yourself. You're authentic to yourself. You won't have any regrets, and you'll be advocating for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think too, it's important to, the more that you get to know who you are in God and strengthening your relationship with God, then you'll know what boundaries you need to have.
Oh, yeah.
You'll know what you need to have. You'll know where you need to go. You'll know who you need to be around. But if you just are out here, you don't have no boundaries, people are treating you any kind of way, people could only do to you what you accept.
Oh, absolutely.
And sometimes that hurts to realize too.
That, yeah.
When I look back, I'm like, ooh, I accepted that.
Yes.
I accepted that. And I have to take accountability for that as well.
Yes.
Like, I didn't have to be in that situation, but I accepted it, but now I know better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of putting the blame on the other person, no, it's always our responsibility. Yeah. So what did you do? I'm always bring it back to you. That's what I do in my sessions. I'm always bring it back to you. What did you do about that?
Yeah.
Because if we didn't do anything, then you're part of the problem.
Absolutely.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah.
You need to set a limitation here. just like we do with our children, right? They have rules. They know they have a structured lifestyle. We try to create a structured lifestyle for them. And the reason for that is because we need to always ensure their safety because they don't know.
They don't know.
So why do you think a partner, a stranger, a colleague knows more about you than you do?
No, they don't.
It's your responsibility
You have to teach
let
people how
them
to
know.
treat you.
You gotta teach people how to treat you. And so if you feel like you're often disrespected, it's because they're looking at you and saying you don't respect yourself.
Boom.
Because you haven't given me no boundaries.
And that goes back to showing up for yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
People treat you how you treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People believe in you as much as you believe in yourself.
Yes. Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it starts with
you. Yeah.
But we will create boundaries. Because another thing with boundaries is it goes back to your core values. If your core value is violated, then we want to set a boundary for that core value. Yeah. If my core value is respect and one of them is respect, so anytime I feel disrespected, that's a trigger for me. I need a boundary around disrespect.
Yeah.
That's going to be a no, ma'am. No,
and if
sir,
that person continues to cross it, we cannot be. Nothing.
Yeah. And what do countries do? They stop the accessibility.
Yeah.
You don't have access to me anymore.
That part. And I think a lot of times people don't stop the access.
Mm-hmm.
You continue, hanging around the person or being with the person. So it's like you're constantly healing and then you're pulling off the Band-Aid again. You're healing and then pulling off the Band-Aid. And you're bleeding. You're bleeding. Out. Yeah.
Yes. And you're enabling the cycle.
Exactly.
You're enabling the behavior for them to keep doing it because you're not doing anything else about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a start, y'all. Y'all just got some free therapy.
Yeah.
You're welcome listening to the Heart Helper podcast. You're welcome. Come back for more. One thing I did want to ask you is, it's, for one, just your energy is beautiful. Oh, and I could see why, it's so interesting how God calls people to different things. Because I don't think I could be a therapist, no teacher, no lawyer, no doctor. I'm in the space that I'm in, but you definitely have a gift with that. And I feel like that's why it's so important to listen to what God's calling you to be and not what social media is calling you to be or what looks good, walking in your purpose. What gave you the courage to walk in your purpose? Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah. I think it was confronting fear. Because
how did you do that?
I think I always tried to navigate the wound of inadequacy. I felt like I wasn't enough. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about it now. But I really had to start doing therapy with myself and really befriending myself again.
Befriending yourself.
Yeah.
I love that.
I really did have to welcome myself back to me.
Yeah.
And create a safe space within myself. And once I started doing that, I felt empowered. I felt strengthened. And then once that came up, I was like, you know what? I'm ready for the next thing. I'm ready for the next thing. And it allowed me to really conquer my fears. And so I started, don't tell nobody, y'all. I started making this little list of 3 fears on it. And I had to do at least one small fear a day. And typically the fears went against the inadequacy wound, right? It challenged the inadequacy wound.
So it's like you were kind of pushing that out of you intentionally.
I had to rewire the programs that were set up from before. And I had to rewire them into empowerment, into compassion, into kindness, into grace, into strength. Like I had to do that. And that is hard work. And I still do that every single day. But I started knocking down the fear. And once I started knocking down the fear and I took away the power from the fear, I was like, I could do this.
I could do this, yeah.
I could do this. And I could be okay with me learning too in the midst of all of this. And so I hear different people's stories and I walk with them through their life. And it's so empowering because I help them confront their fears as well. Yeah. I help them rediscover their strengths that they forgot was there. And they're like, oh,
I forgot about that.
I forgot. Yeah. And when they have these aha moments, girl.
That's the blessing, right? That probably feels so good.
It gives me goosebumps every single time. And that's how
sometimes that's all people need.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just need someone to see you.
Yeah, that's it.
You need somebody to see you and validate you and say, keep going.
That's it.
Now keep going. keep going. And so once I got into a relationship with myself and I started doing the inner work on me and confronted the fear, I felt
Life changed for you.
unstoppable. I felt unstoppable, but I have to do it.
You have to
every
confront
day.
the fear. So you wrote your 3 fears down on a piece of paper, and then every day you're like, okay, I got to do something to conquer
One.
that. You conquer one of those
small fear.
Okay.
But I gave myself a choice, y'all.
Between the 3 fears.
Between the 3 things.
Hey, at least you
Yes,
tried. Listen, you
yes.
did. Not even tried. I want to take that out my vocabulary. You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't try. You actually did the work.
Yes. And that is how I rewired the narrative for myself. And then the beautiful thing about it, the gift that God gives us is creativity.
Because he's the creator.
Because he's the creator. So, baby, I'm going to co-create with you.
Yes.
And now I get to create a different life for me.
Yeah.
A different perspective for me. A different world for me.
And we have the power to do that. It's like you could either choose difficulty or you could choose destiny, but you can't choose both. God will always guide you through. And I love that you said that you conquered the fear, because I think for me this year, it's like my year of yes. Because I really do.
I love that.
I don't like public speaking. I get so nervous.
Really? You did amazing.
And that's why everyone's like, oh my God, you do so good. Could you come to my event? I'm like, oh, it's my year. Yes, sure. I'll speak at your event. I will. Yeah. I love to do that. I'm a speaker. Of course. Yeah. I'll show up. And then the whole time before, I'm like, okay, what are you going to say? Okay, make sure you. But I'm like, you know what? Nope. And God just keeps having opportunities find me, because he's like, I want you to face that fear.
Absolutely.
Whatever's in my next chapter, you need to face this fear until you could get to that next level. And facing my fears has been a blessing. Even publishing my first book.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I don't want people to know I was depressed. I don't want people to know I was anxious. I don't want people to know I had a bad pregnancy and I went through all these things.
Yeah.
And it was freeing.
Yes.
It was freeing.
Yes.
Yeah, it was freeing.
Because you were able to be vulnerable.
And I don't like being vulnerable.
Girl,
and I faced my
You
fears.
faced your fears.
Yeah.
You faced your fears. It's so important because fear will never really go away. We really kind of need fear when we're in life-threatening situations, because it does tell us do something. Get up and do something. So we do need the fear. However, you need to examine how much power does the fear have
over you. And I feel like fear is debilitating a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people have so much potential in them. But it's like, well, what if I fail? What if no one buys the book? What if no one brings their kid to the daycare? What if no one watches the podcast? What if no one books a therapy session? But you really don't know until you try.
Yeah.
And I always say, give God something to bless. You asking God for all these things. Oh, I want to be a multimillionaire. Baby, what
are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, where's he going to bless it at? In your house? In your room?
Yeah.
In your thoughts? No, put it to paper. I'm in the space where I'm okay with failing. I'm okay.
Me too. Yeah.
I actually let me fail faster so I can get back up and try it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because we know our God, right? He will send us the same exact lesson.
Yeah.
Until you get it.
Over
and over. It's like, I thought we went through this. No, we didn't.
I get it.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get it. Okay.
This time. So
what am I supposed to learn?
Yes. Okay. So go into it embracing it.
Yeah.
Because it is there to be a teacher, not to be a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
It is just to teach.
A teacher.
You.
That's it.
It's just supposed to be a teacher. So get the lesson. Take the notes.
Get the lesson.
Do something different and see what shows up.
Absolutely. And that's why I think there's no such thing as a bad situation. Of course, you might prefer something else, but if God has you in a situation, okay.
Yep.
It's definitely developing character. And it says it in the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
It's building perseverance. It's building character. That's why you have to put on the full armor of God.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get through it.
Yep.
But everything is for your best purpose. It's for your highest being. If you run away from it, you'll continue to have to face that lesson and that challenge.
And that's so good that you said that, because that's one of the things that I told myself through that season, is everything works together for my good.
Greater good, yeah.
Everything works together for my good. So even though this thing others would have deemed negative or bad, it works out for my good.
Greater good.
It works out for my good. And once I started saying that over and over, it did actually work out for my good.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't bring me something tangibly, it taught me
Something, yeah.
internally that I could hold on to.
And that's priceless.
And it's priceless. And so I'm like, everything works out for my good.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
So for someone that's watching this or listening that hasn't gone to a therapy session, what should they expect? Because I hope that this, of course, is a safe space for people to come on and share their stories and be vulnerable. But I also want our listeners and the people that watch to take something from it, because a lot of people just don't have the knowledge, or they're going to be scared to reach out to the therapist. I don't know what to expect. What could someone expect at their first therapy session?
Oh, that's a good question. And every therapist is different, so I'll just speak from my personal experience. First, you do the intake and you just say why you're choosing therapy at this time, so that you can give the therapist some therapeutic goals in which you guys can work on. But what I typically have my first session I typically have the client write out their life timeline.
Okay.
Because I need to know you, and I need to understand your story, and I need to understand your narrative, and I need to understand how you see the world.
That will make you understand a lot about that person.
Yes. And through that, I help them identify themes, cycles, reoccurring people, places, and things. So we're identifying triggers, we're identifying hurtful situations, where narratives were created, we're putting the understanding to what is in front of us. Because a lot of times we just know it comes up, we don't understand why
it comes up. Yeah.
And I'm all in the why, in the knowingness of it. You need to know so that you can understand. Once you have an understanding, you can modify behavior you don't like anymore.
Absolutely.
Because I now understand the why. And so I have them do a life timeline, and I help them become the author of their story again.
Because sometimes people give the pen to someone else. I love that you said that.
I help you re-author.
Yeah. A lot of times you give the pen to someone else. So a lot of the outcomes was because of someone else. You weren't in control of your own story.
Absolutely.
So you give them a voice again.
I do.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
I can tell. I can definitely tell. Well, y'all make sure you guys book a session with her. I will put all her information in the podcast description. Therapy is nothing to be scared of. I know there might be a stigma, towards it. There's no shame in it. If you want to reach the highest and best version of yourself, therapy could help you get to that next level. You don't have to get comfortable in being. You could definitely become. And I think that just needs to be that just needs to be an everyday practice. What can I do today to become? Is it waking up early? Is it taking your vitamins? Is it going to the gym? Is it reading your devotional? Is it taking an hour after your kids go to sleep to read a devotional? Whatever it looks like, you have to be intentional about your healing.
Absolutely. You have to be intentional about your healing, because no one is coming to rescue you.
Yeah.
No one's coming to rescue you.
Yeah.
It is your responsibility. Do yourself a favor. This is a gift within yourself to get back in relationship with you.
Yourself.
The most important relationship
that you'll ever have.
Get in it.
Absolutely.
Do it. You will be rewarded. So of course, find the best therapist that fits you best, because everybody isn't for everybody. I know I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. But get you with someone who you feel safe with and feel like, man, they make me feel seen and heard, and I feel safe in this place, and I feel like I could trust this individual. That's a great start.
Yeah.
Do I feel safe here? Do I feel like I could trust this individual? And if you allow yourself to experience some vulnerability come up, that's a great sign. Stick with that person. They're bringing something out of you. Stick with that person. But Psychology Today, that's a great resource to go on. Open Path, if you're worried about income or paying for services.
Is that a free platform? I'm not familiar with them.
So Open Path is more so where they provide therapists who will take you at a lower rate.
Got it. Okay.
So I think it's between $40 and $80. Okay.
You guys could afford that.
Yeah, Open Path, Psychology Today, that will get you in with someone who takes insurance or private practice. What's another one? Therapy for Black Girls. That's another good one if you're looking strictly just for African American therapists. I'm on all three of those. So
you can find her, Vanay Butler.
Yes, you can find me, or I do coaching as well. So if you don't want to go through the whole lifetime line thing and you're just like, this is the issue, this is what I need help with, I need somebody to coach me through this, I offer coaching services as well.
So is the coaching going to be more so for someone that knows that they have a problem? They could kind of already identify it and they just need the tools to, and
Right.
Okay, got
They
it.
just need the tools and the accountability.
Got
They need
it.
help with the accountability. Therapy more so is we dive in deep, we're rediscovering, and you're ready to understand why things are the way that they are, why your behavior is showing up in this way. Where coaching is more so, this is the issue that I'm having. I'm finding it difficult to do A, B, and C. What's the solution? Can you help me with the solution?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's more short term. Therapy is more long term. And I would suggest bi-weekly or weekly sessions. Don't do no monthly sessions.
Yeah, you need more than that. Listen.
Because that's just a recap. All I'm getting is a recap.
Yeah.
Every single time we meet. No, we need to make sure you have tools so that we can measure how well you're doing with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's tools, there's resources. So make sure that you guys tap into a therapist, whether it's Vanay, whether it's someone else, just because you don't have to hurt. You don't have to keep carrying all these bags. You don't have to keep crying. You don't have to keep being anxious. You don't have to keep staying in these toxic relationships. You always have to remember happiness is a choice. It's a choice. You have to choose you this time.
Yes.
Choose you this season.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And that's why I love that you have the yes season right now.
Yes.
Because it's time to say yes.
It's time to say yes to you.
To you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And to what God's called you to be.
Yes.
Stop playing small.
Yes.
Stop playing shy.
Yes.
Be courageous.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it.
That's
So
right.
as we close out, I ask every guest this. So
Okay.
I'll start the statement.
Yes.
And you'll finish it.
Ooh.
What comes to mind.
Okay. Let me get
Okay. So the
situated.
first one is I am
empowered to live my best life.
I can
I can move past difficult situations.
I will
I will show up for myself wholeheartedly.
love is
Love is unconditional, accepting, and kind.
unconditional. And last one, God is.
God is love.
And
God is my everything.
amen. Same. Because
Mhm.
on this podcast, we love the Lord. Guys, this has been amazing. I appreciate you. I appreciate the conversation. I always feel like every guest I have on, I learn something too. And I cherish the conversation. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. So I appreciate
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys learned something as well. This is the Heart Helper Podcast. I am Jody Shannon. Be sure to listen, like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, keep God first. And like Vanay said, get back in relationship with yourself. That's the best relationship that you'll have. And it's the one that matters the most. How you going to love somebody else if you don't first love yourself?
That's right.
Okay. Have a blessed week, guys. This is the Heart Helper Podcast.
Bye.
Yay!